Okay, good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar on how to get ahead in 2026 with Fixflo. Today, we're going to be discussing our biggest releases this year, and we're also going to be looking at a sneak peek for 2026 as well. So, my name is Jessica Doobie, and I'm the product training manager here at Fixflo. It's so lovely to be here. Thank you so much for spending the next hour with me, and we are recording this session as well. This is an absolutely brilliant opportunity for you, not just to find out all of the amazing things that we've released this year, but also for you to ask any questions that you have related to Fixflo. So please do use the Q&A button, which is available on your Zoom bar, and ask any questions that you do have. That would be fantastic. So first of all, we're going to be talking about what we have done this year. We've done an awful lot this year for Block. So please, do kind of have a look at what we've gone through, what we're going to go through. Then we're going to be talking about what is coming up in 2026. And as I mentioned at the end, there will be that Q&A. So we have left time to go through the questions. I absolutely love a question. So please do pop them in the Q&A for me and I will get to them at the end. Excellent. So before we get started, I just would like to launch a quick poll because I would love to know who is on here today. So we're just launching a poll just to get to know you. So the first question is, could you just let us know your job title, please? Second question is how long you've been using Fixflo, and we would love to know from you how useful you find Fixflo. There is a rating scale there from 1 to 10. 1 is low, 10 is high. So please do let us know how you're finding Fixflo at the moment. We would just love to know kind of how you're getting on. Please be honest. Just to let you know, there will be some other polls which we are going to launch throughout the webinar. So yeah, we're excited to have you here. Thank you so much for filling that out. So I'm going to smoothly move on now to what we've done this year. So let's have a look. As I mentioned, there's been an awful lot we've done for Block, especially around your director profiles. So the first thing I really want to talk about is your director dashboards. So just to let you know, there will be a poll on this in a moment. I know the other poll is still open. So if you haven't had a chance for us to get to know you, please continue filling that in. It will finish in just a moment though. Let me talk about director dashboards because this is really exciting. This is something we launched relatively recently, and I know that there was an awful lot of feedback asking for this. So there is a setting which is available for you to turn on your director dashboards. Now, please note that by default, this is turned off. So I'm going to show you how you can turn this on so that your directors can view their dashboards. This will show them information regarding the block that they are the director at. This will include things such as the number of building issues, number of quotes, any comments, and building notifications as well. And just to let you know, there is an additional setting so that you can turn on the compliance percentage of the block as well. So let me first of all show you the settings, and then I've got some screenshots of what these director dashboards look like, both with and without the compliance percentage. So if I jump into my system here, so this is your left-hand menu sidebar, okay? So this is where you can access different things, including like planned maintenance, your calendars, etc. Here, if you have access to your settings, so you will need to have administrator rights for this, you can click here on Setup, and then you will click here on Settings. From here, you will want to remain in the Issue Settings tab just here, and you'll need to scroll down and open up the General section just here. And scrolling down, this is what they are. So as I mentioned, these are turned off by default. There is one for your directors, and we actually have one for your leaseholders as well. They look exactly the same. Leaseholder dashboard. They are both currently switched to yes, so they are hidden. However, you can turn these to no, and that will mean they will no longer be hidden. So I'm just going to save that setting. That means that both now my directors and my leaseholders, when they log into Fixflo, they will be able to see this. We're just launching a poll to ask you whether you've turned this on or not, because it'd be great to know kind of from people who are using Fixflo, whether or not you're turning this on. That would be great. There's an I'm not sure button as well. So if you are new and you're not sure, just let us know you're not sure. That's absolutely fine. Once turned on, I just want to show you a quick example of what that would look like. So I'm just going to make this a bit larger. So this is one of my directors. If he was to log in here, he is the director of Barry House. So that's shown up here. As you can see, there are different filters, so he can view this over the last month, last 3 months, 6 months, and also the last 12 months. And you can see here that they've got the number of building issues. These are split between reported, in progress, and also urgent. They can see the number of quotes as well. There's only one quote, and that is currently at the status awaiting approval. There's the number of building issues here as well. So we've got 8 active, 0 are awaiting approval, and he can click here to view all of the 8 issues. Also clearly see comments. Comments is a really fantastic feature on Fixflo. I do hope that you are using the comments tab quite a lot for communications. We're going to be talking about the comments tab as well shortly because there's something that's coming out this week around comments. But yes, you can see unread comments, any new comments, and also the building notifications, anything today and anything of high importance as well. So this is the director dashboard, which we have launched. It's exactly the same for your leaseholders as well if you turn that on. As I mentioned, by default, this is turned off. Please let us know whether you've turned this on or not. Just to let you know, there is a second setting around compliance. So if you turn the director dashboards on by switching these to no and pressing save, you've also got this planned maintenance section within your settings here. And what you can do, this has been sitting here for a while, but this will affect the dashboard. So if you decide that you would like to allow your directors to view their works planners for their buildings and you switch this to yes and press save, what will happen then is not only will they see this dashboard, but you'll notice there's a little blank space here. That will be filled now with the compliance status. So they can see the full overall compliance as a percentage for that specific block. So 2 settings available. Make sure you turn them on if you want them turned on. If you don't want to show your compliance yet, just don't show the compliance setting under planned maintenance. You can show the rest. The feedback on this has been absolutely brilliant, and we do hope if you have turned this on that you're finding it very, very useful. Just to let you know, we have the same option for your leaseholders too. So once again, this is for those who have access to setup and settings. If we click here, it will be within the issue settings section under general. And again, it's just hide leaseholder dashboard here. Set that to no if you want that to not be hidden. So if you want to show it. And also you've got the allow leaseholders to view the works planner for their buildings here as well. If you're happy to show compliance, set it to yes. We always recommend if you are going to show plan maintenance and compliance, just make sure that your planned maintenance is fully up to date. Your planned maintenance feature does sit here on your left-hand menu sidebar. It's an absolutely fantastic tool for keeping fully compliant across all of your blocks on Fixflo. Just to let you know, on Fixflo Academy as well, we do have a planned maintenance course specifically for block. So just to let you know, if you're not sure how to use that tool, you can learn all about it. So I mentioned the comments tab, really, really key tab. This is coming out this week, so it's not yet live. However, your directors will be able to send comments to each other. So this is really, really exciting. This will allow better visibility and clearer communication across your directors. Again, the feedback that has come in this year, this has been an absolutely vital thing that lots and lots of block managers have been asking for. So we're so proud and happy to be releasing this week. So it will be out, but obviously before the end of the year. Just to let you know, because it's not live yet, I'm not able to fully show it to you, but when a director comes into Fixflo and they go into an issue and they go to this comments tab where it says send to, they will then be able to send to you as an agent and all other directors. So they can't select one particular director, but they can send a message to all of the directors as well as you as the agent. You will always have visibility of that because they can't send a message just to the directors without you. But hopefully this is something that your directors are going to make use of and something you can tell them about as well. Something also that came out earlier this year, this was also another big thing to do with directors, was our multiple director approval. So this is available for our manager customers only. So you will need to be on the Fixflo manager package in order to use this. But you can then request multiple director approval on quotes. So once again, we have just launched a poll. This poll is asking whether or not you knew that we had this feature, and also if you would like us to reach out about using Fixflo Manager so you can use this. Before you answer the poll, let me show you how this looks. So if I am in my system like this, okay, so I'm logged in here and I go into an issue here. So this issue, you can see here I've got the issue status. The issue status sits in the top left-hand corner of the issue, and it will give you a really good understanding as to where the issue lies. And in my opinion, these issue statuses are really very logical. So this is showing as request for quotes ended. So that means that the quotes have now come in and I can now get those approved. So what I can do here as the agent is, as the task to do now, I can either award the quote that I would like to award, or I can request quote approval. Now, if you are on the manager package and you do have access to this, when you request quote approval, you have got the opportunity now to ask all directors for quote approval. It will tell you here how many directors this will be sent to. I have 3 directors at this specific property, so the approval request will go to all 3. I can provide, or I have to even provide, an approval deadline. So that will set the reminder date there. And also you can pop in any approval notes if you want to. So approval notes go here. You can allow your reviewers to see all the documents if there are any documents added. In this case, there actually aren't, but I'm going to select that. And then you can select the quotes that you're happy to send over. So you don't need to send all of the quotes. If one quote comes in and you think, gosh, no one's going to be happy with that, you don't need to select it. Select the ones you're happy with, and then you can literally press proceed to next step. What happens now is you can see here on this kind of bar here, everybody, you can see who we're actually waiting for approval from. So we're waiting for approval from 3 directors, as that is what we asked. And those directors will now receive an email. So they will all receive an email that looks like this. So it will come from, so all of our emails come from no-reply@fixflo.com. And they will receive an email like this. It will have your logo, your colour scheme, and it will say, "Dear," and then the director's name. The agent has asked for your approval to undertake the works. You are one of a number of directors reviewing this quote. So they are aware they're not the only person reviewing the quote, and they're given the deadline to action this as well. Any approval notes you popped in, they will go here within the email itself, and it lets them know here that they now need to review the quotes. So it says review, issue, and quotations. Just to show you very quickly on your side here. So if I go to the quotes section here, approvals tab, there's a new approvals tab. You'll be able to see kind of what's going on and that everything is pending. So the status of these are pending. You can see how many users have approved it, how many have rejected it, and the number which are pending here as well. So you will be able to kind of keep on top of the approvals as that time kind of goes on. So if I now jump in as this particular director and click here, review issues and quotations, I'm just going to go in incognito. One thing I really, really love about the emails on Fixflo is that when a person clicks into that email, it doesn't ask them for their credentials. So they're not asked for their email address, they're not asked for their password. It makes it really, really easy for any person who receives an email from you via Fixflo to actually log in and approve the quote, provide a comment, whatever it is that they need to action next. So we've made it really, really simple. Further, please remember that Fixflo is cloud-based as well. So that means that users can use this on any device. So I'm currently on a laptop, but most people would use their mobile phone for this. So here we go. We are in this, we are in Fixflo now as the director, and we can now click here, review the quotations. So this is where they can see the quotes. They can see the ones that, of course, you ticked, and they can come on here and say, right, actually, this one I'm going to reject because it is considerably more expensive. So here they can put a reason. And rejects that quote, and then they can come back in here and actually approve this one like that. There we go. They now have no further actions to do. If I now come out of that and go back in and refresh this screen. So I'm back in as the agent now. Again, with the approvals, this has now updated. So we can see here that for Pickering's lifts, we can see we have one user who's approved this, 0 rejections, and 2 users are pending. And on the Otis lifts, we've got 1 user who's rejected this and 2 users that are pending. So you'll be able to kind of see what's going on there on this brand new approvals tab. Again, I'm not sure if the poll is still open, I think it might still be. If you would like us to reach out to you about upgrading to our manager package, this is something you could then start using. Again, the feedback on this has been really, really good. People absolutely love the fact that the directors can do this, and this is going to be made even better with the fact that they can now start commenting to each other as well. So this is just going to make the whole process much, much better, much clearer, and more visible for everyone. So I hope that's helpful, and I hope that kind of gives an idea of how multiple director approval does work. If you've asked us to reach out, we'll do so by the end of the week. Okay, so we're going to move away from directors now. We're going to talk about planned maintenance. Now, as I mentioned, our planned maintenance tool is absolutely fantastic for keeping compliant across all of your blocks on Fixflo. In my opinion, what planned maintenance does really, really well is it allows you to create recurring events. So you're not saying, I need a fire risk assessment next year, but you're saying I need a fire risk assessment. So if it's for like a high risk building, it would be every year maybe. So you would say, I need a fire risk assessment next year and then every year after. You can set up EPCs to go every 10 years. You're scheduling recurring events to ensure that you never ever miss a regulatory service risk assessment again. Absolutely fantastic. And we have improved our planned maintenance offering by with our remedials. Now, there are 2 things we've done on our remedials. The first one is that you can now bulk add remedial actions. So you can easily add more than 1 remedial before you close a planned maintenance job. What this will do is it will create a number of remedials, and each remedial will have its very own due date and priority number, and they will be created as a new issue at the issue status reported. So just to show you this, if I jump back into this system here, I'm going to go into an issue that I progressed earlier. So this is a planned maintenance issue. This has been created from a service event for a particular block here. And this is a fire risk assessment and written scheme. Now, this is at the issue status, job completed, ready for closure. So I am now ready as the agent to close it down. However, before you close it down, there are a few things I would definitely recommend. The first thing is, please make sure that you do read the certificate and check if there are any remedials. If there are, this is the time to bulk add them. Just to show you as well, this year we did add this job tab here, and that allows you just to see all of the information about the job. And this is a really brilliant opportunity for you to see the certificate, open it up, and of course check it. Now, in order to bulk add remedials, that will be done on the next steps tab. So once you are ready to add the remedials or just close down the issue, you'll go to the next steps tab. And this is where you can raise your remedial issues. Now, this used to be kind of just adding one remedial, whereas now if you click here, it opens up this pop-up, and this, as you can see, allows you to raise remedial issues. So if you click here on add issue, this would be kind of remedial 1. As I mentioned, you can select its own priority, its own due date as well, and you would pop in the details here. Um, Perfect. And then you can continue and add another issue. You can literally add as many as you like. As I say, they've all got their own priority, they've all got their own due date, whenever that might be, and then their own details as well. Perfect. Excellent. So you can continue adding, as I say, but once you are happy, you can come down and click raise remedial issues. What that will then do is, so you'll still have your original issue, which is this, which is still at the status job completed, ready for closure. However, in on this next steps tab, bottom, oh, oh gosh, sorry, bear with me 1 second. Sorry, I do apologise. So what will have happened when we get back onto it is you'll still have your original issue, which was created from the service event, but you will have now created two new issues at the issue status reported. They will then sit in your reported issues to do on your dashboard, and you will be able to carry the works out just like normal. So you'll be able to instruct the job, get some quotes, depending really on what you want to do. Bear with me just 1 second. I'm just going to try and log back in. I do apologise for this. Here we go. Let's go there again. So here we go. I've got my issue here. And as you can see, we've got two linked issues now. They're both at the status reported. So I can click into those. Here we go. This is remedial. This is the second remedial here that we've got. We can scroll down and you've got now your next step. So you would start resolving those issues. And that is also linked to the other remedial just here as well. So that's how you can bulk add remedials. Really, really great. But even better, attached to plan maintenance, all to do with remedials, which is called Aidenn compliance. This allows Aidenn, which is our AI tool, to read the certificate and actually create remedials for you. You will need to approve the remedials, so they're not just added, you will need to check that you're happy with them. And this does, just to let you know, come at an additional charge. So we've got two tiers for this. The first tier will allow Aidenn compliance to read your fire risk assessments, also combined health and safety and fire risk assessments, or just health and safety risk assessments on their own for communal areas. Or you could go with tier two. Tier two allows you to do all of tier one plus flat fire door inspections, communal fire door inspections, EICRs, lift inspections, asbestos surveys, Legionella risk assessments, as well as gas safety certificates as well. So this is an absolutely fantastic tool. Let me show you how it looks. I know as well that there is a poll that we are going to launch about this to see if you would like us to get in touch with us about this. Let me just show you how this looks. I think this is absolutely brilliant. So if you have got this turned on and you come back to, so I'm back in a different service event, okay? This is an agency which has got the compliance tool turned on, and the issue status for this particular issue is job completed, ready for closure. Now, rather than me going through a really long report and having to work out where the remedials sit and add them myself, you can use this brilliant tool here. So it's still within the next steps tab. It sits in the same place. You can literally click raise remedial issues. And what you'll need to do is it says raise remedial issues from the document. So here we go. Upload the document. 1 second. Let's pop it in like this. And what this will now do is it's processing my FRA, okay? So it's starting to read this. So it does say we always recommend checking issues before approving. So here we go, the risk assessment's here, and it is starting now to process this. So it does take a couple of minutes, but it will basically create the remedials for me. I will then check them and make sure that I'm happy to add them. So it shouldn't take too long, but this is an absolutely brilliant tool. If the poll isn't live yet, please could we make the poll live? And then we will be able to, here we go. Yes. So would you like us to reach out to you with more details about Aidenn compliance? Again, the feedback on this has been absolutely phenomenal. Lots and lots of people use it. I can't say that word. I do apologise. As I say, we've got the two tiers here, so I'm going to let that run in the background. We've got tier one, which is the fire risk assessment combined with health and safety documents if you want, and then tier two has an awful lot more. So we've literally just expanded this into tier two. The feedback's been brilliant. People love it. It's saving agents a whole lot of time. It does come at that additional charge though. We can reach out to you and go through exactly what that would be. Any questions, pop them in the Q&A. Do feel free to answer the poll as well. We would love to reach out to you if this is something that you think would be useful for your agency. Maybe you're already using it, in which case you don't need to say yes, you can say no. But yes, works absolutely brilliantly. This is still processing. Obviously, it's a long document, but overall, this will save you an awful lot of time. Lots and lots of people are using AI now, including Fixflo, and hopefully that's something that will be useful. Brilliant. I'm just going to let that run in the background. And I'm going to talk now about our, still to do with plan maintenance, I'm going to talk about our compliance matrix. So the compliance matrix is an absolutely brilliant tool that we have on Fixflo, which allows you to see across all of your blocks how compliant you are. So what we've done, again, we listened to feedback and we've frozen the top row of the compliance matrix now. And this makes it easier for you to navigate and see at a glance how compliant you are across your entire portfolio. So I'm going to go into this block system here. Plan maintenance, as I say, does sit here on the left-hand menu sidebar, and it sits here within the compliance matrix. If, by the way, you do not have access to planned maintenance, it will be because you are on the essentials package. Plan maintenance is available for those on the professional package and the manager package as well. So here we are. So this is the compliance matrix. What used to happen is when you used to scroll down to see more blocks, this line wouldn't freeze. So it was really difficult to know what are you not compliant on. We've now actually frozen that. So it's made it so much easier for you to actually go through your blocks and see what is and what is not compliant. A lot of people, when they are using this compliance matrix, just a top tip, they do open up this classic drop-down filter. We have this drop-down filter on most of our searches, allowing you to filter out and narrow down what you're looking for. And this is where you could, for example, pop in your name for every building assigned to you, or landlords of the building, or whatever it is that you need. You might want to look at everything which is statutory only, for example. So you can really filter out exactly what you're looking for. Lots and lots of people find that really useful for the compliance matrix, but I do hope that you found it helpful that we've actually frozen this top row as well. Brilliant. We're now going to move on from plan maintenance. We're going to talk a bit about Copilot. Now, Copilot is an absolutely fantastic tool which is your automated works assistant essentially. So this allows you to trigger an action as soon as the issue is reported. So we have added a new revisions tab on each Copilot rule, and what this allows you to do is it helps you to see what changes have been made and by who. So essentially our audits are better. So let's have a little look. So if I jump back into this CS block here, Copilot sits on the bottom of your left-hand menu sidebar, just here. And if you click on Copilot, this is where you'll be able to see kind of all of your rules that have been set up. So, for example, let's have a little look at this. This is a Notify Director one. If I click in here, if I was to now make a change to this specific rule and I added another filter and I said, actually, I only want this to happen at the weekends, as an example. That's the only time I want to notify them. And I'm going to put here weekends only. Once you've made any changes and you want to save them, of course, please remember to press save. I know that's obvious, but even I've forgotten before. And then once that's saved, if you go to this revisions tab, okay, this will show you Wednesday today, 10th of December, 11:29, the block manager, so that's my name here, block manager, made a change. So I can see when, I can see who, and I can click here um, to compare. I should be able to compare. There we go. Let's try that again. Okay, usually then you should be able to compare and it will tell you kind of what changes have been made. I do apologize. I'm not quite sure why that's not working. Give me one moment. Let's try and add another rule quickly. So we'll just do like out of hours lifts to Reggie Pepper. Okay, perfect. So I'm just going to quickly add a very quick rule just to say I want to instruct works to a particular contractor. Perfect. See if this is working now. And then here, new issue. So I'm just going to say fault and I'm going to select anything to do with a lift. That's it. Amazing. So let me just save that for now. Okay, perfect. So I've saved that. And let's say I forgot, oh, it's out of hours. So now I'm going to add an additional filter and I'm going to say time and I'm just going to make this quick. So I'm just going to say Saturdays and Sundays, press OK and press save. Perfect. So now if I go to the revisions tab, here we go. There we go. You have to tick both. You have to compare against the others. I think the one I went on before was old, so it didn't have the revisions before, which is why I couldn't compare. But now it will tell you what filter has been added, and it's a time issue filter. So it just allows you to see exactly kind of what's happened, who made that change. It's a really, really good way for you to kind of keep on top of your Copilot rules even better. Another thing that we've done for Copilot is we have added bank holiday improvements. So you can essentially now view the bank holiday dates which we have added into the system for you, and you can add new bank holiday dates or closed dates if you wanted to. We also have a new filter on Copilot to therefore manage those bank holidays. So first things first, we will need to have a little look at, if I come here and go to your bank holidays. So as I say, we've set the bank holidays for you. These are set based on English bank holidays in England. Okay, so if you're in Scotland, for example, you can add a close date for like the 2nd of January. So if I go here to setup again, you'll need the permissions to click on setup and then settings. It sits here under business hours. So here you can see this is where we've added now. This is brand new. This came out like a couple of weeks ago. We've added close dates and holidays. So you can see what dates are closed until kind of May next year, what we've added. Again, if you are in Scotland and you wanted to add a close date, you could literally click here on add close date and say, actually, we need to add the 2nd of December. And this is just Scottish holiday, for example, and press save. There we go. So that has now added Scottish holiday for us on the 2nd of January. So that's one I've now added, nice and simple. Once you're happy with your close dates and your bank holidays, in Copilot itself, when you go to add a new rule, there is an additional filter now, which is called bank holiday and closed dates. So they're all stored where I just showed you, and then you can use them here. So you can either exclude them or include them. So it's making it much, much easier for you to manage these out of office occasions and times that you are closed. So hopefully that is something that you use it. It does say there is a poll on this one. My lovely assistant Jonty, who's on the webinar, launching all the polls. If there is one, please could you launch it here? That would be brilliant. The next thing I wanted to talk about was offboarding blocks. Now, this will definitely have a poll, and this is where you can now offboard blocks. Before you answer the poll, let me just show you how this works. So this is a setting that only we can change. So wait with the poll for just a moment. Answer it in a moment. So you can now offboard your blocks if this is switched on for you. If you'd like us to switch this on, we can do. What this essentially means is when a block is deactivated on Fixflo, it will move the block to the stage being offboarded. Occupiers will therefore no longer be able to report issues at that block. All service events will be archived and open issues will remain open so that you can work through these before they just kind of get closed down. So please let us know if you would like this switched on, just to show you how this actually looks. So bear with me one moment. So if I am on my Fixflo account here, okay, and I go to, I want my dashboard here. Okay, if I go into my properties and I go into my buildings here, if it was this building that I wanted to deactivate, okay, what I could then do is I could click here on actions and I could press deactivate building. What this will do is it will deactivate the building. However, as you can see, oh, bear with me, sorry, one second. Might be the units actually. Sorry, bear with me one second. I think this is sorry, this is to do with the units specifically, not the blocks. So if you're no longer looking after a unit and you were to go in here and you were to deactivate this unit and press deactivate, what it will do is it will take the unit to being offboarded. Sorry, I got my words mixed up. So the unit is now being offboarded. So service events will be deactivated. No occupiers will be able to report issues against this, but the open issues will remain open. So you can now work through these. If you would like us to switch this on, please let us know in the poll. I do hope that makes sense, and we'd be happy to do that for you. I just want to show you very quickly, just jumping back into the Aidenn compliance. This is what has been created. So the FRA has now been read, so you would need to leave the tab open, and you can see here all of the remedials that have been created. So that would have taken an awful lot of time to do. But yes, you can see that this is what has been created here. So that's what it looks like, just to show you. Perfect. Excellent. Okay, something on the dashboard. So for any of you who know me, have had any training with me, you'll know the dashboard is my favorite feature on Fixflo. What you can now do on the dashboard is you can actually group your panels by block. So you can configure your dashboard panels and group the issues by block, which will help you to understand which of your blocks have the most issues, essentially. So if I jump into this dashboard here, what you can do, a lot of people do this particularly with, say, their open issues. If you haven't done this before, I would highly, highly recommend that you start playing around with the configuration options on your dashboard. Again, on Fixflo Academy, we do have 2 dashboard courses. One is just on the generic dashboard. The other one is for our manager customers, and it shows how to use our multiple dashboard feature. But to configure the dashboard panels, you will click here on more options, and from there you will press here on configure. This is where you'll be able to change how that bubble, or how that panel even, sorry, is viewed. My favorite layout, so anything from here, bubble, down to and including the Pi issue status summary, we recommend you use. And I really, really like the bubble lists, if I'm honest. What we've added this year is a new way that you can group these. So you can actually group this by building and or estate as well. So if I click on building, I would always recommend changing this one to descending, because then you'll be able to see at the top the building with the most issues there. So that can be a really, really good way for you to actually track what's going on with your kind of buildings with most of your issues. So again, your configuration option sits here on configure. Please do play around with it. Lots and lots of people do this in order to prioritize their issues, see older issues, and also, as I say, the new thing is you can view it by estate and also building. I do hope that's helpful. You can also edit what is the problem text, which sits on the occupier side of Fixflo. So when an occupier goes to report a maintenance issue, just to show you, this is what it will look like here. And by default, it says here, what is the problem? Okay. If I am logged in, What you can do, if you want to change that bit of text, this is something we added this year. You can click here on setup. So you will need to have administration rights to do this. Setup and content edit. You can scroll right to the bottom. It's one up from the bottom and it says here fault tree header. So you might want to change this to how can we help you today, for example, and press save. And then when your occupiers are going to report issues, you can see here it's now changed. How can we help you today? Completely up to you if you want to change that. It's a very small thing, but again, that was something that was requested. So we did amend that. We've also made improvements to our emails. So we have listened to your feedback, and what we've done is we've increased the font size for better usability and accessibility. And we've also defaulted to a darker font on our emails as well. So hopefully they are clearer. Hopefully that's something you've noticed as well. We've also made some contractor app improvements. So contractors now have a calendar view available on their app. This is going to make it much, much easier for them to manage their diaries. So for any contractors you're speaking to, please, please recommend that they do download the app. They are the only party with an app, and we do have a dedicated member of staff who is responsible for ensuring the app is the best it can be. So we've made lots and lots of improvements to the app, one of which is there is now a calendar view. So they can actually see what's kind of coming up, what's going on, and manage their diaries better. We also have a new course on Fixflo Academy for SLAs. So again, if you're using the manager package, you've got the multiple dashboard feature, you've got multiple director approval, but you've also got our fantastic SLA feature as well. This is your service level agreements, ensuring that you are sticking to the kind of level and that standard that you want. So if you haven't already and you are using the manager package and you want to know more about our SLA feature, please do check out the SLAs course on Fixflo Academy. You can easily get on Fixflo Academy by selecting Fixflo Academy from this little man just here. Brilliant. So just going to do a sneak peek of what's coming up next year. One of the big things that we are doing in 2026 is we are going to be making improvements to our out of office. So essentially holiday and sick cover, which I think lots and lots of people are really, really excited about. So if you will, I can't show this to you because it's obviously not there yet, but what will happen is you'll be able to select on Fixflo that you will be out of office, and you will be able to choose another member of your team to receive comment notifications instead, so that important messages are not missed. And also, they will be able to receive an email notification when an issue is reported at one of your blocks as well. Okay, so you will be able to manage your holiday cover much, much better. That is coming in 2026. Please do watch this space. It's really, really exciting that that's coming out. Secondly, especially for block, we are going to be working on major works and Section 20 improvements. This is something that is in the pipeline. I don't think it's going to be very early in 2026, but it is coming. So do keep an eye out for this. It's going to make it much easier for you to manage Section 20 improvements and major works. We do just have a poll here, and we would love to know from you. These are kind of longer answers, so I'm going to be quiet for just a moment. Just going to read the questions out for you. We would love your feedback on this. This is a really good opportunity for you to let us know. So question one is, what's the biggest challenge you face when managing blocks on a day-to-day basis? And the second question is, what one thing could Fixflo do to improve your day-to-day as a block manager? So please let us know. I'm going to stay quiet and let you vote on that. Thank you. Okay, brilliant. I hope that's enough time to answer that question. Um, We do have one final poll. So my lovely assistant Jonty, who's helping me with this webinar today, she will probably know more about whether the poll's been answered. So she might be keeping it open just for a few more seconds whilst you answer that. And there is going to be another poll which we're about to launch as well, saying, would you like to give us feedback moving forward? I have seen in the meantime, just because that poll is still open, so potentially people are still filling that out. A question's come in from Natasha. Natasha, thank you so much for your question. Thank you for joining me this morning. I hope you found it helpful. You said, hi, on the works planner, the top tab is not frozen. Will that be changed too? Really, really good question. Let me send that over to the product team for review. I do think we did it on the compliance matrix. Hopefully they can do it on the works planner as well, because I know, especially in block management, you have an awful lot of compliance. So it would be very, very useful to freeze that top row. I would definitely request it for you, Natasha. I can't promise anything, but I will do my best. So thank you so much for your question. I will just mark that one as answered. Brilliant. No other questions have actually come in as of yet. If you do have any questions, as I say, this is a really fantastic opportunity for you to get them in. And now we are just asking for some feedback. So the first question on the poll that has just come up is, how would you like to give us feedback moving forward? As you can see, we've done an awful lot, especially for block this year. It's been actually our main focus. So we would love to kind of know how you would like to give feedback moving forward in order to let us know of any product improvements that could be made or just any general feedback you have. What would you like to do? Second question here is, how likely are you to recommend our webinars to one of your colleagues? We do hope you found this helpful. If you could please give us a rating from 1 to 10. And also we would love to know what topics you would like us to cover in future webinars. So yeah, and also if there's any other feedback, if there's anything that we could be doing better in our webinars, if there's anything that I'm doing well in the webinars, please do let us know, because this allows us then to make the webinars even better moving forward. We do very much appreciate the time commitment you give to coming and listening to us and hearing all about the stuff we put on Fixflo. So I do really want to thank you for your time today. But we want to make sure that you're getting the most value out of this. So any commentary here would be absolutely brilliant. And finally, we just have asking here, would you like us to reach out to you regarding upgrading your Fixflo tier? So obviously we've got the 2 tiers for Aidenn compliance. It's not an upgrade of your account, but it's more an additional it would be an additional cost to you, to your company, but it wouldn't be changing tier. I've also spoken a lot about manager. If there's anything that you would like us to reach out to about that, please do let us know. Just let us know in the box as well what you would like us to talk about. A few more questions have come in, so I am sticking around for these questions. If you would like to stick around, then brilliant. If you do have to leave us now, then I'd just like to say thank you so much. Any feedback, like I say, we will look at all of it just to take it all on board. Adrian, good morning. Thank you so much for coming today. How do reminders work? I've passed reminders and I cannot remove them. So when you're talking about reminders, Adrian, are you talking about the reminder date within an issue? It'd be great to know more. Alternatively, if this is really specific to you, it might be worth you and I having a catch up if you're happy for me to reach out to you. If you're talking about the reminder date, which sits within every single issue, so every issue has on it something here called a reminder date. These reminder dates are absolutely key, as this is what will keep you on top of all of your issues essentially. If the reminder date is in the past, what will happen is that will have an impact on your dashboard, and every single issue with a reminder date of the past will go into your issues requiring attention, so that essentially you cannot lose sight of this. This is absolutely key, because when an issue is at this reported status, the reminder date will automatically be in the past. I mean, this is a really old issue, but if I go to the detail tab here, this issue was reported on the 14th of October 24 at 17:15, so 5:15. Yeah, 14th of October. And you can see here the reminder date is that exact date, okay? So it basically will always be in the past. As soon as so if I was to instruct this job, okay, and I instructed this onto, um, let's just do that. That's fine. If I was to instruct this job onto a contractor of my choice, so I'm going to go with this contractor, that's fine, and press proceed. What happens here is the issue status automatically updates for me, and the reminder date also moves into the future for me. Therefore, it's outside of my issues requiring attention because it sits with this particular contractor. However, if the contractor does not get back to me by Friday, the 12th of December, so by this date, the reminder date will be back in the past. It'll be back in my issues requiring attention, so I cannot lose sight of it. The reminder date is absolutely key. But Adrian, I will reach out to you. You did say let's have a catch up. So what I'll do is I've got your email address. I'll drop you an email. Let's try and pop some time in, hopefully this week, and see what's going on. And I'll give you a hand. But hopefully that gives you just a very small snippet of the reminder date. It is really, really important. Please do keep an eye out for that because this will have a huge impact on your dashboard. If you're not sure how the dashboard works, again, please go on Fixflo Academy and have a look at the dashboard course. It is one of our more popular courses, the dashboard course, on Fixflo Academy as well. Graham, good morning. Thank you for joining me. When you add an issue to, for instance, an FRA and want to close down the main event, does it turn to green and show the main event is closed? Okay, so this is to do with your service events. So at the moment, so there is a change potentially coming for this, just to let you know. But at the moment, if you were to close down the fire risk assessment, but you had other remedials, so let me find it. 1 second. Can't remember which property it was for now. Sorry, one moment. Let me go here. Sorry, Graham, I'm just going to find the issue again. Planned issues. That's it. No, not 6 years ago. This one here. Okay, so this is an issue at the issue status, job completed, ready for closure. This comes off a service event. I've got 2 open remedials. If I was to now close this particular issue, okay, and I was to select my close reason and say works completed and press close issue, that's then closed the issue related to that specific service event. On my related service event, currently, that service event will stay as I for in progress as I have the 2 remedial linked issues which will need to be closed down first. So essentially, no, it will not turn to green. However, there is something that is coming potentially in 2026 around changing that. So they're looking at having this only for high priority issues which need to be closed first, and if they're not high priority then you could potentially turn it to green. So that is something that I think they are working on. It didn't come into this webinar, unfortunately, but yes, at the moment it will stay as in progress until all of the issues are closed. Graham, I do hope that answers your question. Another couple of questions from Graham. Graham, thank you so much. So can you add additional comments to an open event before it is closed? So in terms of your service events do not have a comments tab. The only kind of entity, I suppose, that has a comments tab so you've got your building notifications and you've also got comments on an actual issue. So if I go into the service events do not have a comments tab here available. So unfortunately, you can't add additional comments to an open event before it is closed. You can only add comments onto the actual issue. I hope that makes sense. If that doesn't quite make sense, let me know. And again, I can also reach out to yourself as well. You asked another question as well around, can you also allocate an issue to an internal teams rather than contractors, as not all issues result in works orders and have an invoice? Graham, if it's all right, I'm just going to drop you an email and we can go through your questions if that's okay. Because, I mean, you can have managed contractors, but we'll chat. I'll drop you an email, okay? And we'll try and find a time this week as well, which will be brilliant. Fantastic. Thank you so much for your questions, though. Excellent. All right. So I'll be sticking around just for a couple more minutes in case there are any other questions. If not, I'd like to wish you a very, very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Thank you so much for using Fixflo. Thank you for coming today. I do hope you found this helpful. Any feedback is always very much appreciated. Aidenn, I'll reach out to you. Graham, I'll reach out to you as well. Thank you so much.